Welcome back to the Tydirium Hangar. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about something a little bit different. I've made some videos about G.I. Joe Classified, kind of my thoughts on what's coming from there, and Super 7 Ultimates, some of the things that Super 7's doing. But today I'm going to do a prediction for the next wave of G.I. Joe, and the prediction for the next wave of Thundercats for the Ultimates line. Now, I'm not guaranteeing any of this is true, but it's kind of educated guess on where we've been going, and then plucking some obscure thing out of nowhere just to see if I'm right. It'd be kind of fun to see 6 months, 8 months from now, a year from now, if I'm right on any of it, or if I'm wrong on all of it. We'll talk about this and more. My predictions of the next two waves, Super 7 Ultimates, one's for Thundercats, one's for G.I. Joe, coming up. Now, the first thing I want to say is I'm not the only one that's thought about this concept here, but this Lion-O looks like an all-new Buck. It looks completely different than the other one. It does not look like they're reusing the old Buck from now like 13 or 14 years ago. We're actually much longer than that, but the Mattel Buck from the Masters of the Universe, the He-Man stuff, well, that's been the same Buck for these Thundercats for the most part all this time, and now it looks like they're upgrading it, going to an all-new Buck for this Lion-O with glowing eyes, and that makes me think they're going to reissue Tigra on the new Buck. And the reason why is because, number one, this had a lot of QC issues. There were a lot of problems, and with that, a lot of them either got destroyed, didn't get reordered, or whatever. This figure seems to be short. It's if you still want one for normal price, you can get the whole wave at BBTS and then maybe sell off the other ones you don't need. But this one here does seem to be a hard one to get, commanding over $100, $130 or something on the secondary market right now. And if they put out a 2.0, kind of like what we're seeing with Lion-O, which I don't even know what you consider Lion-O. Lion-O the 7th, 8th, anyway, 6th, 7th, 8th Lion-O. But this one in the new Buck, and then hopefully less or no QC issues, would sell very well. It would be one everybody'd be on. In fact, it might sell out, but I'm sure they would do that. Thinking about this, the demand would be so great for this, because first of all, the people that got the first one might still be holding on to one that's got QC problems and wants a new one that's not going to have QC problems. And then they're probably thinking, well, there's still a market to sell their old one, and there is. And so there's a lot of good reasons to go with Tigra in the next wave, and I'm shocked they haven't yet, but now with this new Buck revealed, it makes a whole lot of sense. So my next prediction is going to be on Lunatic. So you've got Red Eye and, is it Tugmug? Tugmug. I would say they'd probably go with Red Eye. And they're going to do them all, but I would say Red Eye's next. That's my guess. My money's on the Red Eye is the one that they would pick next. And there's the prototype figure. I believe that's the prototype figure of it. I'm not 100% sure, but looking this stuff up, this thing popped up, and they said it was a prototype. So, there's the character, and probably look more like this than the prototype toy, and pretty cool. Lunatics, we're going to get them all done. We've got Amok and Luna in the wave that's already announced, so this next unannounced wave would probably carry over this figure, Red Eye. That's my guess. My guess on the third figure would be Burble Bell, and the reason for it is because we've got Burble Bill, and I don't think they would go Bill, Bert, Bell. I think they go Bill, Bell, Bert. But anyway, we're probably going to get one of each Burble in each wave. And there's not a whole lot of difference between them. Slightly different head mold and stuff. But it'd be pretty cool to get it. Another small figure, a small character. Really, it would be nice to get a 2-pack. I mean, if he liked us, he'd do a 2-pack. Even if it's like $60 2-pack, you can bang out the other two in a 2-pack. For $60, that would be amazing. Why not do that? Wish he would, because I mean, you already got the mold. It's not going to be that much different. Slightly different paint apps and stuff, and you wouldn't even really need to change anything. Really, you would just need to put the little bow as a separate accessory. So this would be awesome if we could get a 2-pack, but with only one for $55, Burble Bell. Now the last pick is going to be Demolisher. I think Demolisher would be one, and that's actually not my pick. So I'm going to actually throw out my other pick here in just a bit, but this is what most people in the comments say a Demolisher, which would be cool. That would be a cool figure, an interesting character to make, and I think it's one that they could possibly do. That's what people pick. But it feels like they still want to have one foot in LJN. So to be safe, this is kind of the question mark Demolisher or Safari Joe. I think Safari Joe would be on the list because it seems like they do want to remake everything from LJN. But I think the more exciting stuff is making characters that were never made before. And Safari Joe's not a favorite of people, but it is one that other people are asking for, and people want to finish out the LJN. I really, personally though, this list I'm making is kind of getting inside of Brian Flynn's head, but me personally, I still want Stinger, and I want the Driller figure, but it seems like Brian doesn't care about those. Okay, so that's my 4 predictions for the Thundercats. Now getting into G.I. Joe Ultimates here, and I think that we are going to see a troop builder. Now, this I'm going to have an if-then statement with some of these, because it seems like every single wave has a troop builder, and I would think they would do the Viper. Now, here's the reason why. First of all, classified collectors love the Viper. It's a big deal to classified collectors, and now we're going to get a retro Viper. And I also kind of feel like if you look at the lineup that we've gotten from Super 7, it's always something that's already been made by Hasbro. They didn't make any characters that Hasbro hasn't already done. So it's almost as if that might be in their licensing agreement. And if you step back and think about it, it makes a lot of sense. And Hasbro saying, we've already have to make our character, make our money off of it before you make your character, or even announce your character. So to me, it feels like if it's something that's already been made and delivered, that they're able to make it. That's just my feeling. Or they're just playing it really safe with the more popular characters. Anyhow, Viper is a very popular character, and to have this in a super cartoon look would be amazing. Anybody familiar with programming, the if-then statement here, if not Viper, then we get an eel. I think it'd be a Viper or an eel, but I'm leaning more heavily towards a Viper than an eel, but it wouldn't shock me to get an eel. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we got an eel. Obviously, we've already got the first eel delivered already on the retro. I have my retro eel, so I like it better than the one in a box where I can't see. I'm going to be honest. The one I can see in the box in the blister package looks better. But I'm curious. I don't know. They did such a good job. Hasbro did such a good job. I don't think that Super 7s would be drastically better looking in my eye. But anyhow, this is one of these will probably be in the next wave as a troop builder. The next character, overwhelmingly from the comments, Shipwreck. I just can't express how many times I've read the name Shipwreck for Super 7 Ultimates, and I don't disagree with that. I think that the Hasbro one's pretty cool. I don't feel like it was very popular and sold very well, but it was a pretty cool one. But Super 7 making it super cartoony. I was going to do a cartoon screen grab with each character, but realizing that it is really hard to get a good full body screen grab from Transformers. I already knew that, but from G.I. Joe, same thing. So getting just kind of half the top torso is about the best you can get, and then once it pans out to the entire body, then it's really, really low detail. So this is where we're at. But anyway, imagine getting this with super cartoon detail. That would be awesome. It would be a whole lot of fun. But I'm not going to take away from the classified Shipwreck, because it was a good one. So the next one, I think, this is just my gut feeling, and so like Shipwreck was one everybody else said, but I feel like Bazooka. And the reason for it is it's just so classic. It's one that I think would sell very well. I think people would love to have it. Also, I'm kind of thinking color breakup on the shelf, and there's not a whole lot of red in the good guys, and it's just such a cool character. It's been done to death already. It's already like two or three versions of it out there. I know at least 2. And so with that, I actually was at a toy show, and I got a set of them, 2 of them for $15 each. So I hooked my buddy up with one, and it paid to wait, I guess, on that one. So, but still, I love the classified one. It looks cool, but Super 7 making it would look more cartoony and pretty good right out the gate. And they did play that game with Hasbro. They played the game where they gave you the Tiger Force one first. Was it Tiger Force? They gave us a recolor first, then we got the standard one later. Now, if we don't get Bazooka, we could possibly get Alpine. And if we got one, I figure the next wave we'd get the other. That's just the way it feels. To me, it's almost like you put the Crimson Twins out together, you got to put Bazooka and Alpine together. It's just the way I view the world. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm not. But the reason I think Alpine would work really well for Ultimates, I mean, very, very well. He comes with a slew of accessories. This dude just comes with a ton of accessories. And to just deck him out with all of his accessories, even the vintage figure, it was a slew of accessories. And it just feels like it's right up Super 7's alley. Like, they're itching to find a character that needs all the accessories they make up. They wouldn't have to make up much. They would just have to give him what he normally comes with. But Alpine, either or. But probably not both the same way. Lastly, I think that they would do another Dreadnok. I think they would start doing more Dreadnoks. The massive popularity of Zartan, it is a very popular figure. And this SDCC one, so it's sold out already, then it was down for a few days, and they put some more back up. I don't know the game they're playing there, but if you want to get one for the $55 price point, then you can get one for the $55 price point. The Jungle Trap version, still on the Super 7 site. And a lot of their Ultimates are still there if you want to get them. I mean, if you want to get the Clear Sheila, I think she's still there. And then the Clear Groon, he's still there. I mean, I'm just listing off stuff that I bought. I went back and double checked if it was back in stock. But anyhow, you can get that. But what character would I suggest for the next one? So I think they would do Torch. I think they'd want to give us the Classic 3. And Torch is now just delivering from Hasbro. In fact... And I pulled this picture off of BBTS. BBTS is sold out of these, which is weird. But cool looking figure. But who else would they do? And I'm being safe here. They could also do Zorana. And I don't have any inside knowledge that Super 7 has to wait for Hasbro to make one. But it seems like everything they've made, aside from like the comic, the variants, like the comic Bat or the variant figures that just look a little bit different. And it's funny, too, because they ended up making the red Baroness and then the red Destro. And then Hasbro put out a red Baroness set. So interesting how all that stuff aligns. So I feel like my predictions could be pretty spot on, close. They're not going to be way off also. So what do you think about my Ultimates predictions? We won't know about G.I. Joe until it shows up at the store. And that's just the way it is nowadays. It's just going to show up, BBTS or Entertainment Earth, all those kind of places. But what do you think about that? What do you think about my predictions for the Thundercats and G.I. Joe? Like and subscribe. Tydirium out.